Hey guys, welcome to this Blender tutorial, and today we're going to learn how to make photorealistic dirt. Just activate it. Beautiful. Let's do it. So first thing you want to do is set up the scene. Delete everything, add a plane, add a camera, go Alt R, rotate it 90 degrees, go Control 0, so now you are in the camera. G middle mouse button, zoom out, and then you should have seen something like this. Now this stage we're going to go into is now forming the ground shape. So we want to click the plane, you want to go tab into edit mode, right click, subdivide 6 times, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go back to tab, and then click the modifier tab. Go add subdivision surface. So now let's put that down to 1, and we want to add a displace modifier. You'll get a weird result like this. You want to click new. You want to click this button here, which will take you straight to the textures, and then you want to click clouds. Beautiful. So we have something like this. Doesn't look like ground, looks like shit, but that's fine. We're gonna make it look like photorealistic ground. That's why we're here. So you want to go into, first you want to go back to tab, you want to click the mesh, you want to go to shading and make it smooth faces. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, gobsmacking. So now you can actually manipulate the ground form through this texture. Absolutely amazing technology. So let's just go through it. I reckon something like this would give a nice form. I reckon we should bump the depth up to about 5. I think that's great. Maybe 4. We can change that later. Go back to the modifier, change the strength to about, that's good, 0.4, 0.35 is probably the best for this scene. So if you go to the rendering tab and change the render engine to cycles, and then click the rendering tab, you should have a result like this. So nothing's happening because we don't have proper lighting, which we'll sort out soon, but now we're going to go to the texturing phase. Just want to make sure we're on the same page. Now, texturing, let's do it. So you have something like this, and now we want to go split this screen. We want to go to shading editor. Wrong tab, you idiot. So I'm going to put that to the timeline. Yeah, beautiful. Change this to shading editor. Beautiful. And then you want to click the mesh, new material. So now you'll get a principal shader ready for you to play around with. Now we want to activate a tool called Node Wrangler. So if you go to Blender, Edit, Preferences, Add-ons, and then type in Node Wrangler. Check this because it'll make your life easier, and your life's probably already complicated because you're watching this tutorial. Click the material, the principal shader, and click Control T. Now this is because of the Node Wrangler. You can add the texture, mapping, and image texture coordinates ready for you to use by just clicking Control T. Now I'll provide you guys with the texture under the link or somewhere. If you just maybe email me or something like that, I'll suss it out. So you want to go open. You want to go to wherever the file you saved it. So I saved it in a different hard disk because I like making my life hard. You know, my life, it's actually so hard sometimes. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Alright, let's do it. So beautiful. So we got the ground and bump. You don't really need a spec for this tutorial, and bang. So what we did forget to do for texturing is we forgot to unwrap it. So we're going to split this again. You want to change this to UV editor. You just want to go Oh, wait, we did unwrap it, didn't we? Beautiful. Just in case you didn't, you just click U and unwrap. So let's close that again. Let's close that. Beautiful. So what you want to do now is you want to go to the materials, and now you should have something like this. Now I think that this is too big for the proportions we are doing for this scene. So we're going to go back to the UV editor, image UV editor, yep, and we're going to scale this up. Maybe two is good. No, we need it twice as big, so 4 times all up. So I scaled it twice. Beautiful. This is the result you should get. Now let's turn off the spec because it's going to give me a heart attack. Now the reason why we didn't change it into scale is because that will change it, because we're going to use another displacement based off the UV. And when you change this here, you won't be able to change the displacement. And we want it to be consistent because that's what we do. Now we want to go to the modifier tab. You want to add another subdivision surface. You want to make sure that that's on top of the displacement. Leave it at 1 for now. So you have still something like this. Yep. And then you want to go to look dev again. So now you want to add another displacement modifier. And you click new. And then you click this button here. And instead of changing, sorry, it might automatically go to cloud. Change it to image or movie. Go to open, and then well, you can go back to the other. Yeah, you can go open, go to bump, and you click that one, and then you should get something like this. It should look miserable, similar to people's expectations. Now go back to the modifier stack. Put this down to 0.05. Maybe put it a bit higher just so we can show everyone what's going on here. And now you want to change this here to UV. And if you go to solid, ta-da! You have something like this. And now if we bump this up again, bang, that looks absolutely gorgeous. We've got each bump from each pebble in the texture, and it's also consistent with the texture we are using to make the ground. Now we got these weird bumps, which is giving me a heart attack, so we might not even need to turn this on, to be honest. So if you turn this off, yeah, that would get rid of it, and then we can, yeah. So you want to take away this subdivision surface. You might, if you want to add it later, that's up to you. Or what you can do is you go to the displacement, or the first one, and change the depth to 3, which will just solve the issue of having those weird, unnecessary distortions. So now you should have something like this, and these are the options you can see now. Beautiful. And if you will render it, you should get something like this. So you still can't see much because we need to light the scene, and that's what we're going to do now. Now we are going to light the scene. So, how are we going to light the scene? Now, what you want to do is you want to add a HDRI, and in this scene, you know, it's up to you, but we're going to add for this tutorial a HDRI of a sunset. So you want to change from the shading options. You want to change it to object to world, and then you want to click this background, click this one here because we're going to use a known wrangler, and then click Control T. Now you have an image and also mapping for the HDRI. You want to open it. This is the one I'm going to use, which is from the website, I think HDRI Haven. They're actually awesome. I'll provide the link to the one I'm using, HDRI Morning 4K. Beautiful. Now you can choose up to the K1. I think only for now we're just going to need 4K because we're just lighting it. And now if you click the render tab, you should have something like this. think I actually used the wrong HDRI, which I might fix up in a second. But this is the sort of result you should get anyway. So let's just go back and kind of fix it up and grab the other HDRI. Bear with me. So which one did I open up? Yeah, I gotta get the sunrise. I think that's the one. Bang. So this is the result you guys are supposed to have. Yep, this is the result. And now we're getting somewhere. We're nearly there with the photorealistic ground. Oh, cut on, it's still not there. Just relax, just step by step, it's all good. So the first thing you want to do is maybe lower the shadows of the HDRI. Oh, but how do you do it? Because it's a HDRI, not a lamp. Relax, that's why we added a mapping. So with this mapping, we can actually manipulate the positioning of the lighting with these settings. So I'm gonna put the location down, maybe down 0.13. 0.13 I think is really perfect. Yep, and then you want to change the rotation of the light. So in this case, I want to add more depth by using more shadow. Beautiful, absolutely gobsmacking and gorgeous. Now we have something quite tangible, quite realistic. Not there yet, but it's nearly there. So we want to now go to the materials. So we want to click the mesh. You want to go back to the object tab. And then, wait, let's just save just in case. I'm going to save this tutorial. Bang. So you want to go back. So you should have something like this. And what you want to do is grab these three, position them correctly, and click the ground image, drag the color into the normal map. Now it should look absolutely horrendous. But what you want to do is Shift A, add a bump map. Click this to here. I don't know why. Screencaster's turned off. I'm not sure why. It's been a long day without you, my friend. Alright, back. Beautiful. So you wanna. This is the material setup we have. I'll open it in full screen, which I don't know how because it's blended 2.8. So just open this up. So what you have is you got the texture coordinates, you got the mapping, you got the ground, you got the bump, and then you got the principal shader. Simple, not too complicated, but very effective. And now you want to go make this smaller. We don't need the UVs at the moment, so what we're gonna do is close it. Sorry guys, I'm still new to Blender 2.8, so it's going to give me a heart attack one day in my life. I'm going to break my nose. Wow. Alright, just do that. So, what you want to do is you want to go to the bump. Sorry, you want to go back to the render tab. Beautiful. Back to the render tab, you should have something like this. So the bump is a bit strong, so it's on 1 now. What you want to do is probably put it down to 0.5. Something like that. And you can always change the strength of the amount of subdivisions you have for your displacement. I think at the moment 3, or if I can even push it probably to 4, but you probably won't need more than 4, and you'll see why in a second. First I've broken my computer. And I whip and flip it like I'm a magician. Alright, beautiful. So this is probably on 4, probably a bit too much, but you're gonna leave it on 4, whatever you want. We're actually getting quite realistic results here, so this is actually pretty good. But it's also, you gotta consider the positioning of the lighting, and also the position of the camera. So what we're going to do is now fix up the lighting and the setup again. So it's just like almost like a palindrome of a way you work this out with. So click the camera. You want to rotate it X axis. You want to probably click the camera settings. Change from the focal length from 50 to, I would say actually 75. 75 is actually quite reasonable in my personal opinion. You want to position it something like that, and you want to go to depth of field. You want to change the distance to, I reckon, 1 meter. No, probably 1.3 meters. That's pretty good. Not bad, a good size. Something like that. Rotate it on the Z axis if you want. And then the thing is, it's actually super strong, the f-stop. So the lower the f-stop, the higher the depth of field, the higher the blur. So I want to change it to something like that. Now I want to change the actual material color, because the color seems to be a bit too desaturated and not dirty enough. So we want to go back to the shader node, and we're going to go Shift A, add a mixed shader. Mixed shader, mixed RGB, and click that there. So we're going to do that. We want to change the bottom color to almost a reddish orange. You want to click down the desaturation, so you want to desaturate it, so it's now become like a creamish color, and then put down the value, and you should have something like that. Maybe desaturate it a bit more, because it gives a bit of more realistic, dirty feel. We like it dirty here. Beautiful. So you should have something like that. We want to change the camera again, or personally I do, something like that, and we want to now change the lighting just a little bit. And by doing that, not the actual lighting, but the actual color management, and you go into this tab here, open color management, put down the gamma. We want to have a nice film feeling. Put the gamma down to point maybe 4, and then put the exposure up to about, I don't know, 2, maybe something like that. I'm not happy with that. Put the gamma to 0.5, put the exposure down a little bit. So we've got something like this. And now we can also go back to the camera tab. We want to maybe put up the f-stop a bit, something like this. Gorgeous. And where this is pretty much ready to render. You guys agree? Because I think it is ready to render. What you can also do is now we can always go back to the displacements and just manipulate them just a little bit. I broke Blender. Fantastic. So let's just get this rendering and get it going. So what you want to do is make sure you go to the render tab. You can change it to CPU or GPU depending on your personal computer and preference. You want to go to the lighting, because really, especially that's an outdoor lighting scene, you just want to put these 3 or 4 light paths. Change all of these to 2, volume 0, you don't need that, and even render, the actual rendering samples. 128 is pretty good. 64 is even doable. You can get away with 64 with this sort of scene. You know what? Leave it 128. I don't mind. I'm sure you guys probably don't mind as well. 128, all ready to go. I want to be that guy, and I want to change the depth of field a little bit more. I'm a bit fussy with that sort of stuff, so I'm gonna put it down to 0.45. You gotta always go back and forth. It's a game of just like trial and error, what looks the best on the spot, and you can always change the positioning of the camera to what's more suitable, or the lighting. Maybe I want to change the lighting now just a little bit. Go back to the world and rotate it a bit more. See if it looks better. There you go. Looks a little bit better. More shadow, more depth. There you go. Something like that. And Now let's render. Go to solid and let's get this rendering. So you want to click now, go back here, click F12 to render. It shouldn't take too long depending on the computer, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please like, subscribe and follow my Instagram as well, and keep in tune for some more tutorials to come in the future. I hope you enjoyed this. See you next time.